What is up, fellow addicts of the iron? As always, this is Patrick, and I'm coming back at you with another bench day. We are still on that incline bench grind, trying to work on the isolation of the upper body while performing the bench press. We got a weak upper body. We are very leg dependent when it comes to bench press, so we are doing incline bench because it also gives the shoulders and everything that you kind of get beat up on when you squat and bench in the same week, when you're squatting regularly, when your shoulders are being kind of put in that awkward position, just so you can hold the bar on your back. We are working to alleviate some of the pressures with that, reduce some inflammation, and go into the next training block as healthy as possible with as strong of a bench as possible. Kind of feeding two birds with one scone there, because violence is bad, boys. No, scones are just tasty. Chicken's delicious. I eat chicken. I eat half a pound of chicken every single day. But we got the incline bench after our fun little masochist little pre-fatigue warm-up, where we have the chaos push-ups, we have the Bulgarian split squats, the lat prayers, and the pistol toe taps, trying to work and get stronger knees so that we can squat more, because you use your knees when you squat. They bend, things happen. Got to make sure they're as strong as possible. Then we've got the incline dumbbell bench press with the 105s, continuing on with that, making that the entire shoulder girdle that is protecting your shoulder joint. Is it a ball and socket? I don't know. Might be. I'm not a biologist. I just lift heavy shit. And then we've got 3 supersets to finish off the day, and you will finish off yourself too. The phrasing on that was bad. You're going to finish watching this video and you're going to feel very accomplished, because you're going to learn a lot today, and you're going to finish off your learning about bench press for today. That's what I meant. No unaliving yourselves. Promise. But we are off to see the wizard, the wonderful Wizard of Gains. Ta-ta for now.
It's like trying to go to the UK and try and speak English to them.
It's like visiting the Scottish Highlands is what it's like.
Yeah. My French teacher used to say that, yeah. You can't speak this French in Quebec.
No.
And then there's one where it's even worse. It's called Creole.
Yeah.
Technically French, only technically.
Oh. That dirty New Orleans French.
They don't even speak English.
No, they talk
They
like
don't
they have a
even
mouthful of
speak
dipstick.
consistent inflections in their voice that tell people what they're thinking.
They talk like they have a mouthful of dipstick.
Yeah.
You see that a lot in upstate New York and through upper Maine.
Creole?
Not Creole, but they speak without really moving the draw.
I haven't experienced that yet.
I feel fucking retarded, but
It's okay, you are, but go on.
yeah, precisely. 2023, Tom.
2023, we're all on the spectrum.
Be yourself, Tom.
Yeah.
Own it.
Hell yeah!
But on the New Hampshire,
That's right.
on the welcome to New Hampshire signs, I didn't know that bienvenue is welcome in French. I just thought it was just fucking words.
It was a New Hampshire saying, is what you thought.
I thought it was like a Latin word. I had no fucking idea, dude.
It's close enough.
Yeah.
My roommate from Kentucky, I believe, and those are one time. Yeah. He's like, how close are we to Canada? What? Your sign is in French. Yeah. It's like white noise. It's like up in Maine, you go up to Maine, it's like welcome to Maine or whatever. You next day, you don't really think about it. But I'm like, oh shit, you know? You ruined throwing the cars all the way from North Carolina to West Virginia, all this is me. Welcome signs and flaming flag all the way. To the massive border. Basically,
You got Vermont, the state name is literally French.
what's the state name?
Vermont. Vermont, Green Mountains.
Oh, I didn't know.
It's always outside.
You got cabbage cheese, and a lake, and that's it. I forget the name of the lake. There's a lake right next to Burlington. Everybody goes to. Is that the one? Yeah. It lies in New York and Vermont because they don't have it there unless they share it. It's like every other time they have to share that. Okay, so Vermont has 1.5.
We've got 3/4 incline bench, right? 270 pounds, because I am a weak little pansy. But we are not doing a regular 3/4 bench. 3/4 bench, you bring it down, bring 3/4 up, you bring it back down. There's no rest time in it. You're not locked out, taking a breath. You're just going to town, like how your girl wishes you'd go to town on her. No breaks, just go. So, but on top of that, we've got, coach said constant tempo, but not zero acceleration. But zero acceleration is constant tempo. He was like, just basically as if you're in cruise control on your car. And I was like, now I got one of those new 2020 model cars, bought it used, where at a dealership where people dump off their leases, right? I got adaptive cruise control, which means I don't have to pay attention to the road whatsoever. So I just go at whatever speed I feel like. I just set it 2 miles per hour over the speed limit because I'm a little bit of a speed demon. And if someone in front of me is going slower, my car usually notices before I do. So I'm a safe driver, and it's also got lane keep assist. But I think he's referring to old cars where you just keep going, cruise control. So got either 4 or 5x8 with 3/4. It's supposed to be RPD 7. Fuck RPD. All right, these bad boys. I was wondering to myself, why are these easier than the straight bar? Because 105 pounds, these are big boys. These are thick. And then I was like, oh, 105 times 2 is 210. So it's 60 pounds lighter. And I was like, oh, okay. But it should be more difficult because we're using stabilizers. So I'm so fucking attractive, so I have no idea. But they're good. That's all I know. So with this one, we're aiming for maximum range of motion. You got the big blocky dumbbells. You're thinking, how do I increase the range of motion on this? And the way you do that is you touch further out, touch towards the outer part of your shoulder. It does 2 things. It increases your range of motion, which is the goal. But side effect of that is increasing the pec integration into it, because you're bringing them further out. It's not quite a dumbbell fly, but you're still going far out, integrating more pec, getting more pec involvement. So trying to get them titties. Trying to get them titties. Oh, we got our superset, boys. And my head is cut out. Cool beans. Let's just adjust that. We've got rear delt rows. We've got, so originally they were programmed regular rear delt rows where you're basically, you got a neutral grip and you're rowing from down trying to activate the rear delts. But I'm larger than the door frame, right? So the baby football bar that I was using and the regular football bar, my forearms were getting caught on the plates. So we've adjusted the programming to cable rear delt rows. So we've got an attachment on the cable here. When we finish the movement, we're supersetting it with regular rows. So we just pop it up and we go into regular rows. What we're looking for in the rear delt rows, basically, is scapular retraction, and we want to be activating the rear delts. We want as big of a rear delt pump as we can get. This is a superset, so we're going to be hitting the rear delts and the back at the same time. So we want the greatest indicator that you can get that you are working a muscle correctly is whether or not you get a pump in the correct area. So we want a rear delt pump coming out of this as well as a back pump. When we're doing the regular close grip, neutral grip rows, we're going to be focusing on getting a stretch at the top and then scapular retraction. It's not important whether or not we actually touch the handles to our chest or our belly or wherever on ourselves. What we're trying to get is the scapular retraction. We're trying to focus on activating the correct muscles, and doing so, recognizing that training with weight is stretching under a load. So we want to feel the stretch. We want to feel the compression. We want to control the compression, hold it for a moment, and slowly control it back into the stretch. We don't want to jerk in any direction because we're utilizing momentum at that point. So, oh, dead noises. Getting a pretty decent lat pump, which means we're doing it right. Could get a little more aggressive of a rear delt row and bring it closer to our face rather than to our chest or our belly. The point in which you pull it to will determine how intense the activation of the certain muscle group is going to be. My chicken shits. This is the one that I complain about every year because there's some sort of pain associated with my elbow when it comes to doing this one. And I spoke to my coach about it this past week during our weekly video chat update, whatever. And he said that he experiences a lot of the same things. My coach Joe Sullivan said that. And what it is it's got something to do with the overhead extension, the stretching that goes on in the tricep when you go overhead versus when you go not overhead. But we are basically going to go into it because we're going to keep it on the program until the pain gets unbearable. Really, it really feels just like a pump that just gets really intense to the point where it kind of hurts. But like, there's a bit of understanding that you have to do to like program around your pain tolerance. You don't want to go into something that's going to get you injured. But if it like, no pain, no gain, right? Everything's going to hurt at some point. So if I took squats off the program because it made my back hurt, like Yeah, at this point, my back is numb to the knurl on the bar. I've got an entire bar burn scar, and literally the only thing that I feel about it is that it itches constantly all the fucking time. But understanding good pain versus bad pain, tolerable pain versus negative pain, we're able to progress forward. So we've got a set of 8 straight into a set of 20, trying to keep a 013 tempo, which means we extend as fast as possible or as fast as we are comfortable doing. Holding it for a moment. Notice how I didn't say a second, I said a moment, because let's be honest, it's going to be a little short. And then controlling it all the way up, kind of like a 3 count, like a 0, 1 count, 3 count, where the 1 count's at the bottom and the 3 count is bringing it all the way back into stretch, I think. I'm not a biologist. I'm not an exercise scientist. I'm just a guy who lifts heavy ass weight. And I'm just trying to express, you don't need to know the actual grammar associated with things. You just need to know that things work, right? That's why I only got my bachelor's in oh, I did not load this at all. That's why I only got my bachelor's in math and didn't progress any further, because I'm good at math, right? I'm not good with the fucking definitions. All the fucking definitions in math is fucking bullshit. You've got like 5 different definitions. Math is a cult, right? My final math class of my senior seminar of math, my math major, the teacher was like, okay, let's be honest, math is a cult. The old mathematicians who devised mathematics decided that they didn't want any of the plebeians in mathematics. So they intentionally made everything way more complicated so that people who couldn't grasp on, the people who aren't as smart in their eyes, can't do math as well. So they put definitions and methods and stuff in math intentionally to make it way more difficult for the common person, because they didn't want common people contributing to math. They only wanted the elites. So math is a cult. But now that I got this loaded up, I've only got 25s on each side, so it's not that heavy, but the pump, all right, so I tried something new with the overhead. So usually what I do is I extend upwards, and I get the pain then. I theory crafted that it's the extension upwards that is causing the pain, right? So I decided, let's extend more forwards, kind of shave the head, basically, is what I was thinking in my head. Have it graze on my head and see if that doesn't mitigate any of the pain that's going on with the tricep extension. And it does feel good. It does feel good. I'm going to have to update my coach on that, because he's experienced a similar problem. So if I didn't solve it for myself, or was it? If I solved it for myself, maybe I solved it for him too. And the coach is a homie, you know? Even though I curse him out every single time he programs cardio. That shit sucks.
Are you doing any inclines?
Yeah, but 2 sets of 70s or 12.
So you're done lifting and
That's
cardio?
what I want to know.
All right.
Maybe I'll do some abs afterwards with the plates.
What's your schedule this week?
Wednesday, squat. Friday.
All right, let's give the Bears their tummy time. So, oof, that's sticky. The children of the gym tried to teach me how to do side chest. I don't know. Ow. Grab the wrist. I don't know. Ow. I hurt my titty. Do I have anything going on? No, I don't. I'm just fat. But you Bears love it. Here we get the back. You know, for my own checking. But that hurt. Got a little bit of a shelf here, a little separation. Let's see the trap a little more. Not on this side. The verdict is in. I'm small. Oh. We'll do some grip. Get at least some sort of anything going on. Oh, I may need an adult to help get this off afterwards. Oh, it's stuck in the back. There we go. See, can't tell it says bad. Shirt on. The belly doesn't poke out as much when it's a dark shirt. And that is that, boys. We finished off that pretty nice bench day. Worked on that incline bench, which turned out being way better than it was last week. Last week, the fatigue of the incline bench kind of snuck up on us pretty quickly, whereas this week it was pretty much the last set was the only set that had any sort of eh, eh. It's kind of hard to explain how it was. It's almost like at rep 4 of 8, the fatigue was like, oh yeah, I forgot to mention that I'm here. But here I am. And then we finished off the main movement with the dumbbell incline bench. Did the superset of the rear delt row and regular row, both on the cables. That was pretty good. We do need to increase the weight on that more. We increased the weight on that this week, but we need to increase it even more next week. It's so my rear delts are kind of pretty weak comparatively to the rest of my body. So I've been kind of sandbagging any sort of rear delt exercise because I know that it's not as strong as it should be. But working on that, I'm going to say today, just ignore the fact that today is tomorrow of yesterday. Super insightful. I totally didn't forget to record this outro yesterday after training. But I lost my train of thought. My rear delts are weak. Got to increase the weight. Just got to do that. Probably 2 plates next time rather than 1.5 plates per side on the cable, the plate loaded cable machine. Then we did the single arm tricep extension with overhead tricep extension, trying to work and find a way to reduce the amount of pain that I accumulate in my left elbow specifically. While I'm doing that, I tried to keep the extension close to my head, kind of like shave my head with the cable implement. But by set 3, 4, 5, I was getting that elbow pain again. So it didn't really work that well, but it didn't really work that well. That's pretty much all I can say. Then the finishing off with the side raises with the superset of the push-ups. Those were a good finisher. And then we threw in a little bit of a forearm killer. So the owners of my gym, well, one of the owners is a I don't know what the correct term for what he does at his job is, but like pretty much whenever there's like a national emergency of like there's a massive snowstorm, let's send the electric company. I think he works for the state or something. But anyways, it has the ability to weld. So what he did was he took a rack, like a power rack that they had and could no longer fit in the gym, or it broke or something. I don't know. I don't know all the details. As well as a barbell. And he cut the barbell so that he could create a handle. And he made a sliding grip machine with the combination of the rack and the barbell, and he put a hub on the bottom so that we can load it up with plates, right? So it's probably one of the coolest machines at the gym, but it's so rarely used because it's I mean, just the machine. People don't really train grip enough at all. Like grip, I've got a working theory that in order to not bench, well, grip is important for bench too because it works. All the stabilizing muscles in your forearms are going to help you with the stability in your bench press. So the more you work your grip, the more stable your bench is. But I have a working theory for deadlifts that you need to be able to hold 900 pounds at the top in order to deadlift 800 pounds. So we're doing a lot of, I don't want to say it's not programmed grip work. I asked coach if he could program some grip specific work in regularity so that we can have some like decent progress on our deadlift and be able to progress that even further and project it even further into the 800s. Further into the 800. I haven't deadlifted 800 yet, but it's definitely going to happen at the next meet. And it'd be even cooler if we could get like an 800-pound deadlift on a second attempt, and then tickle into the mid 800s on our third attempt. And the thing that's going to get us there is working our grip, making sure that we can hold a bar at the top, because all the top deadlifters right now, they pull hook grip. But my fingers and hands, I've got small hands and thick fingers. And that really means that my grip is going to be compromised more often than not when performing the deadlift. I did train hook grip for 6 months last year while I was training sumo deadlift, but I could never really get the hook grip right. It never really set right. And it was almost like I was double overhanding every single deadlift, which I mean, probably really helped my deadlift, because double overhanding 500 pounds 10 times a week, that's not bad at all. But we're basically on the way that we're approaching grip, right? Is grip is important for the stability on bench. If your grip is or if your forearm, the muscles in your forearms are compromised going into bench, then you're going to have bad time. So, and as well, if your grip is overly fatigued, you're going to have a bad time going into deadlifts. So what we're doing is on days that pretty much every bench day that is not followed by either another bench day or a deadlift day, because I train 5 days a week, I've got a bench accessory day that is followed by a deadlift day later on in the week. As long as a bench or deadlift day is not succeeded by a bench or deadlift day, we're going to be training grip. We're going to be training grip as much as we can. And there's a homie at the gym who's coached by Lawrence Chalet, who's a professional world's strongest man competitor. And he's gotten some grip things from them. I've got some friends in the strongman community, some male strongmen, some female strongmen. And I've been trying to like pick their brains, be like, hey, what do you do for grip? Because strongmen actually compete in grip events. The closest thing to a grip event that powerlifters compete in is the deadlift. And no one really trains their grip when it comes to training for deadlift, right? Except for maybe holding at the top longer, which is what coach has programmed for me to work on my grip, is to hold the lockout longer. But I feel like that's more of trying to train my muscle memory when it comes to lockout, because I need to stop tucking my chin at lockout, because when you tuck your chin at lockout, your shoulders come forward and you're not fully locked out, which is why I missed 2 of my 3 deadlifts at the American Pro. I didn't know that. I ended up with soft lockouts on 2 of the 3 calls. Yeah, I mean, it was a pretty good. We ended up talking more about deadlifts today than bench press, but I mean, I've always been like a squat specialist or a bench specialist, probably leaning more towards the bench specialist than squat specialist. Because you can't really be a squat specialist unless you squat 1,000 pounds. And there are people who are squat specialists that still bench in the 4s somehow. I don't get how that works. And they don't deadlift anything significant either. But my goal going forward is to not be a squat specialist or a bench specialist, is to be a total specialist. Y'all got to remember that powerlifting is a 3-lift meet. Once you're done with squats, you're not done with the meet. Once you're done with bench, you're not done with the meet. You don't just have to get through deadlifts in order to finish off the meet. You got to actually perform. You got to put up your best effort and be the best version of you that you can possibly be on the day that you're competing. So you want to maximize your squat. That might mean taking a bit of a cut on the squat in order to save energy reserves for deadlifts, and vice versa. You might have to take the cut that you take from your squat might benefit your bench a little bit, but you might not want to go all balls to the walls with bench in order to have the best deadlift that you can. You show up to a meet for 3 lifts, not just one. Fuck you, deadlift specialists. I hate you. Why does it seem like every teenager deadlifts 800 pounds these days? Sumo and hook grip, that's why. But I outbench my sumo, and my hands are too thick for hook grip, so we're doing it the hard way. Kind of. I mean, we're working. We're yeah. Anyways, have a wonderful day as always. I don't have a call out at the end of my videos, do I? Stay strong? No, that's Brian Shaw's. Stay filthy, you fucking animals. Patty out.